Props, and welcome to Tinker Tailor Solder Fry here on the mighty Loading Ready Run Video Entertainment Network. My name is Ian Horner. I will be your host and navigator for the day as we walk through, today's project, which, if you're reading the various pieces of textual information that are hovering around this website, twitch.tv/loadingreadyrun, which is a fine place to be, you'll know that we are making cheese from scratch today, and I am very excited for that, and I need to finish up my beer here, which I intended to do while I was just waiting for the show to start. So 1 second before that goes cold. Delicious. Okay. So if you're not aware, this is the Loading Ready Run Let's Try program. And by Let's Try, that means that we're going to try something we've never done before, or something we've done in the past. We're just going to try and do it again. Who knows what's going to happen? It could be a great success. It could be a catastrophic failure, although that seems unlikely with our records so far. And this is going to be an interesting one because this is one that I had to start before the show began. Actually, so let's talk about what we're doing here. Today we're making cheddar cheese. Specifically, we're making a farmhouse-style cheddar. I'm not sure exactly what makes it a farmhouse, except for the fact that that means it does not have to be registered with the European Union as coming only from the cheddar region of, God, I was about to say France, and that would make some English people very, very upset right now. No, we're making cheese. It's from scratch, but it comes with a kit. This is actually a kit from cheesemaker.ca. Other cheese making kits are available, except they're not. They're completely out of stock and you can't find them. And actually, this is local. They make them here in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, which is where we are, if you're not aware. And they make kits for the farmhouse cheddar. They've got goat cheese. You've got your mozzarella, and they've got a kit for poutine curds as well. But this one is I bought this one because it has a few more extra pieces to it. Like it includes everything you need to make it a cheese. You don't need a cheese kit, but what they do is they provide everything in the box that you're going to need to actually do the cheese, save for this, which was 4 liters of milk. Now, I wanted to go out and get ourselves some fresh whole milk, which I do believe does exist in my city. I finally managed to track down a place where it exists. I'm not telling you where it is, because I absolutely do not want to have that particular privilege taken away from us here. But unfortunately, when the milk arrives was an open question, and upon reading the instructions in the booklet, we needed more time than I had in terms of waiting. That said, the kit does let me know and does provide chemicals in order for you to be able to make the cheese from just standard stuff from your local grocery store. Now, this is Island Farms. Other milks are available, but this one at least is our top tier, aside from producer of milk here on the island. And we used that. It seemed to work good. We're going to try it again in the future. Not on the show, but I'm definitely going to do it again. Apparently this has enough equipment in it to make like 10 full batches of cheese. And every batch will result in about 1 pound of cheese. After, the whole thing. Wow, Rock Pusher, how did you know 10 wheels right off the bat there? You must be looking off the website. But yeah, it's, let's see, what do we got here? Let me just read you some information. Included in the kit is a cheesecloth, milk thermometer, cheese mold for shaping your cheese, follower lid for pressing your cheese, microbial vegetarian rennet, which is interesting. I've never seen rennet come in pill form before, but here we are. You know what? Actually, why am I not showing this stuff off? This is cool stuff. So you got your cheesecloth. You got your milk thermometer. It's in the wrong. Oh, good focus. The wrong. Oh no, it's got Celsius and Fahrenheit, so I'm happy with that. Good job. Cheese mold. cheese mold containing both the cheese followers necessary for that. So this is going to be not the biggest cheese, but it's going to be significant, I think. The pound of cheese is not insignificant at all. Yes, the rennet comes in pill form because it's vegetarian, apparently. I've already used a quarter, you can see. There's a reason for that. We'll talk about that in a second. There's a rennet bacterial bacterial culture MA11, which is the, I believe, understandably, the cheddaring content. That it says feta, but they crossed it out, so I believe that's what's necessary. Yeah, you can get powdered rennet in bulk, says Lady Alarios. You can also get it in liquid form, I've found, in previous ways of doing this, but this is the one that they give me. Calcium chloride was the other thing that they gave me. This is the stuff you need for adding reactivity, I believe, to an acidification to the cheese for a combination with the rennet. And that will, or not the cheese, to milk that has been pasteurized and homogenized and not fresh. Because if you get fresh, you don't need to do that stuff. What else do we got here? Rogue 7 says, rennet is the stuff that originally comes from a sheep's stomach. Correct. Correct, Rogue. But this is vegetarian, or vegan, I believe. Vegetarian rennet. So at least it's been cultured, I believe, outside of the stomach and then put into pill form. We got the calcium chloride. We got the fine salt, non-iodinized, which is apparently important for your cheese making. And a recipe booklet, which has been quite handy. Well done. And finally, oh yeah, this is the cool stuff. The coating and soft brush. This is for waxing up your cheese after the fact for long-term storage. The instructions, in fact, suggest that you might want to consider aging your cheese for up to a year to get maximum flavor. Smallest amount of time you're going to need is 3 months to let it use that. Now, let's have a look here at what we got in there. Oh, yeah. The one thing they don't mention on the back of this here is, let's put this away. They also give you some wire, which is important because we're going to need that to break up some of the curd, apparently. Earthen One, no. Well, you know what? Maybe we can expect a follow-up stream, or maybe at least an unveiling of cheese next year. I'm going to need to... obviously, this first batch is going to go straight in my mouth as soon as possible, but... you know, maybe we'll age something out. Maybe we'll do another batch in 3 months' time and find out how it is, make our adjustments, and then make something for a year's time. Perhaps toppings for a dish on a regular crispy day. Good idea, random trivia. All right. Where was I going with that? Yeah, someone mentioned in the chat there. Someone mentioned in chat talking about heroin being close to cheese in terms of the number of additives to it, and I like to think that that's probably a misconception, or not a misconception, but it's a misreading that there's not much that goes into cheese, and I get the feeling that when wow, this is going to be... Don't take this out of context. When done properly, heroin is probably pretty close too. I mean, when you're making cheese, what you're doing is you're coagulating fat and pushing it together and removing whey and other unnecessary products that you don't want in the cheese. I assume that's similar with heroin. You're just you're removing the excess unwanted bits and just coming back with the delicious heroin. We are not doing heroin on Tinker Tailor Solder Fry. That's going to be boy, would that go against? Yeah, that would definitely go against Twitch's terms of service. I'm pretty sure. Okay. Oh yes, Molly Lele. Everything is chemicals. You are absolutely correct there. It's just knowing what those chemicals are and what the friendly names of them are. It's a lot easier. So, like I said, this is a bit different because we've had to do some stuff beforehand because this is a lot longer of a process than I thought it was, and that doesn't just include the 3 months. So let's make cheddar, shall we? I'm just going to read for you some from the instruction booklet. So you can visit cheesemaker.ca for videos and further instructions and education on milk and troubleshooting. Yield 1 pound, aging 0 to 3 plus months, skill level intermediate. 1, choose your milk. We recommend using non-homogenized cow's milk. I would have loved to have done that, but we talked about that earlier. Non-homogenized milk has been pasteurized, but undergone less skimming and no blending. Homogenization, is the process of just blending that milk so that all the fat just goes everywhere and doesn't clump up anywhere. And it's why in Canada we have homo milk, because the homo is short for homogenized, and not because we're trying to be funny and failing wildly. But we can't get in bags if you're out east. We're not out east. We get our milk in hard plastic. Ow. Hard plastic. Tumblr does think Ian is Walter White. I'm worried about that a little bit. Racklar says, suggesting for aged cheeses, put some aside, add spin-up peppercorns, just to see if it works. But yeah, that's where we're going to do that for our second batch here. This makes the milk less processed, which is adds stability when changing milk from liquid to a solid in a relatively short period of time. You can use pasteurized homogenized 3.25% milk. Hello. As long as it is not ultra-pasteurized. Steer clear of additives such as vitamin D, natural flavors, organic filtered milk, which is often highly treated, and lactose-free milk. So yeah, apparently avoid the organic filtered milk, because apparently that's worse for you than normal milk. God, I can remember the first time I came across a package of milk that said micro-filtered, which was extremely upsetting to me because I was still working for TELUS as an internet technical support advisor, and one of the things we had to do for ADSL was include in the package these things called microfilters, which would filter out the ADSL signal and the voice signal so that they were properly separated. And quite frankly, I can't stop thinking about forcing milk through a tiny RJ11 jack. Just Lady Eleanor says in the US you can't legally sell milk if it's raw. I think that's how it's written. Correct. Is it the same in Canada? Yes, Lady Eleanor. In fact, when I was looking for raw milk for this, I landed on a link in my local Reddit page, which informed me, and I believe them for whatever reason. I believe them when they say that it is actually a prisonable felony. I don't know if it's felony, but it is. It can include jail time for selling raw milk. So, not gonna try to find that. Yeah, no lactose-free milk. Okay, 2, organize your equipment. This is what you need to get started. Your cheese kit, a clean pot that holds 4 liters. That's a lot more than you think it is. 1 gallon of liquid. Slotted spoons, measuring cups and spoons, colander and fitted bowl, long-bladed knife and cutting board, cooling drying rack, weights or cheese presses, and I would recommend as well a water bath system like a sous vide or just a hot sink, because you're going to need to make that, you're going to need to keep that milk at a certain level there. Yeah, there are loopholes in the laws. There are places you can find, like if you go out to the, if you exit through the right exit at a farmer's market, you can usually find some good fresh cheese. Really, honestly, just get in good with your local dairy farmer if you have one of those, if those still exist. And yeah, I used to have one as a kid, and we never did get the milk because I was lactose sensitive, apparently. Cooling drying rack recipe: 4 liters, 1 gallon milk. Correct. 1/8 teaspoon bacterial culture. 1/4 tablet of rennet. 1/4 of bottled distilled water, chlorine-free. I'm going with filtered water that has been boiled previously for removing chlorine. Ooh, raw dairy vendor here that mostly discharges for the glass containers it comes in, says Julia Mon. Lucky you. That's good stuff. 1/4 teaspoon calcium chloride solution and 2 teaspoons or salt to taste. Okay, this is where we started earlier today, because I didn't make one earlier, but I did start it earlier because the first step requires approximately 70 minutes, and I don't want you to have to subject you to me standing around here and watching a pot, although you've been here for 19 minutes, which is great. Pour all 4 liters of milk into a pot, and then place it out of the fridge to allow it to warm to room temperature. Warm the milk on low heat while occasionally stirring in an up and down cheese stirring motion until it reaches 88 degrees Fahrenheit. This step takes 10 to 15 minutes. Remove the pot from the heat when it reaches 88. When this pot hits 88 degrees Fahrenheit, you're gonna see some shit. Sprinkle. Well, then what you're going to do is you're going to sprinkle 1/8 of a teaspoon of the culture onto the surface of the milk, let it rehydrate for 2 minutes, and then gently stir it in for 30 seconds. Then you're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of calcium chloride to a 1/4 cup of cool non-chlorinated water. Add the solution to the milk using the cheese stirring technique. You can omit this step if you're using non-homogenized milk or raw milk. I didn't, because I didn't use those. Cover the milk with the lid and rest for 60 minutes undisturbed at 88 degrees Fahrenheit while the milk ripens. That is to say, it converts the lactose into lactic acid. And I did check in my pot earlier, and I could smell that lactose, or that lactic acid coming out together. God, that's actually kind of like... it's kind of like making the milk exercise for an hour. All the lactose turns to lactic acid. Cover the milk. Yes, cover the milk with a lid and rest for 60 minutes undisturbed at that 88 degree Fahrenheit mark while the milk ripens. I'm going to use my Instant Pot for this next time, just to hold it at 88 rather than 88 Fahrenheit, rather than doing it in the sink, which is what I did here. Actually, I'll show you a picture when it am time. Okay. Maintain 88 on a cutting board or with a towel draped over the pot. Step 2, making the curds. This apparently takes another hour, which is, again, why I didn't do this on air. Cut your rennet tablet into quarters, and then take 1/4 of said rennet tablet and mince it, which is an interesting phrase to use for a pressed powdered solid. Add that rennet to a 1/4 cup of cool non-chlorinated water and stir. Allow the rennet to rehydrate for 15 minutes in the measuring cup, but not more than 30 minutes, or it will deactivate. Didn't know rennet could deactivate. That's me learning my thing today. And then, don't worry, the rennet will not fully dissolve. Finally, pour the rennet solution into the acidified milk, dip the measuring cup into the milk, and pour back into the pot to ensure all the rennet will be added. Using the cheese stirring motion for 30 seconds, stir it up, place the lid back on, and let it sit, and they say in all caps, undisturbed for 60 minutes while maintaining 88 degrees Fahrenheit, which I'm going to check my water bath here. Where's my... So yeah, things got bad enough trying to convert things that I actually had to open up my thermal pen and switch it over to degrees Fahrenheit. So thanks, America. Thanks, Obama. Yeah, there you go. He was American. Thanks, Obama. And then remove the lid and test the top of the milk with the side of your knife for a clean break in the curds. If the rennet has done its job, the milk has coagulated. This is your cheese curd. If you do not get a clean break, let it sit for 30 minutes. And that, friends, is where we are currently at in this particular journey. It's time for us... It's time for us to grab a towel so we can dry off the bottom of this pot, because I'm pretty sure we're going to need to bring it up to temperature. But we're going to enjoy some curd checking. Wow, Deidre, yes, the rennet we got in the kit was vegetarian friendly. This was what they said, vegetarian cultured rennet. So, exciting times. Anime source would be probably, I'm guessing, Silver Spoon. It's a great source, or what's the other one that's really Moyashimon is very culture-based. Well, it would be nice if we could get a culture series anime. Oh, hey, cool. We got a little vortex in the sink while I was getting rid of that temperature. Temperature is the only thing that makes it sense is to use imperial measures that is more precise than Celsius in the range that humans need in most cases. Revenant, that ignores the very concept of decimal places. It's only if you want whole number degrees. And I, frankly, like my precision to at least 9 digits. I mean, I like it that way. I don't like to read it that way, but I like having the numbers. All right, let's... You can only use integers in America, says Hymnul. I believe that. That is 100% believable. Let's get the... let's get our camera in place here. I had it all set up nicely for you to look inside. And then let's switch over to Big iPhone. There we go. Now you are privy to the cookinating. All right, folks, this is the moment of truth here. Let's open up our cheese. Let's have a look. Oh, I think we're in for a treat, folks, here. Look at that. Yup. Now, let's just quickly, very easily, is that showing up there? Give it the knife. Oh, that's a clean break. Yep, that is absolutely a clean break. When it looks like Jell-O and it comes right across and pulls to the side. Oh, I'm I'm excited. Okay, next step. Cut the cheese. Yes, that's right. And they say that in the manual here. That's right. Make multiple vertical knife cuts in the curd, 1/2 inch apart. Do this lengthwise and crosswise until you have a full grid. More cuts result in drier cheddar. We like dry cheddar. Shape the provided wire in an L form, or I guess cute face form. Is that what that emoji is? Creating a horizontal base. Length of the pot with 2 vertical handles. Make 8 to 10 cuts length or widthwise by rotating the wire 360 degrees. Begin at 1/2 inch from the surface and move down 1/2 inch each time until you reach the bottom of the pot. The goal is to achieve 1/2 inch cubes. When all the cuts are done, rest for 10 minutes and allow the curds to recover. Let's do it. Let's get in here. And, let's start right at the center. Sure. What an amazing sound I've discovered. Okay, 1/2 inch cubes. So that's just over or under 1 centimeter. Oh God, I can't see where my lines are. You know what, I get the feeling, folks, that I'm being a little bit too precious with this. Or maybe it's just the first time I've done this. There we go, that's it, yes. Let's all blame this on my first time. Although I gotta say, I'm really liking the cut so far. I am absolutely going to need to do a sharpen on this knife, I think, afterwards. Although it's probably just the tip that's completely effed up, which, let's be honest, was probably effed up to begin with. Oop. Tap that head against the camera. So I have a great love for cheese, and being able to make my own is now giving me all sorts of ideas. I do have a plan for additives for this cheese. They suggest a few things, including jalapeno. Now, unfortunately, jalapeno hasn't been coming around as often as she has been, but I get the feeling that she might have mated with another local hummingbird who has started showing up at the feeder more regularly, and I'm guessing it's a mating because jalapeno generally doesn't allow any other hummingbird to access her feeder. But we're naming him Pimento, so hopefully he sticks around. He's a male Anna's hummingbird, and hopefully they'll let me get it. Anyway, so yeah, jalapeno option for this. I'm not putting jalapeno in, but what I am putting in is going to be a secret until we put it in later. When it says future TSF project would be make a cheese harp. A cheese harp is a bunch of wires spaced equally apart to cut up the curd. That seems like a good idea, especially seeing as I know the size of my pot, so I can make a pot in the so I can make a pot shaped and sized cheese harp. Someone suggests El Funko, hoping it's the devil's lettuce. El Funko, unfortunately, I'm not willing to make a cheese made with love on air. Quite frankly, at the moment. Allowed you to doesn't realize that the jalapeno is the name of a bird at first, so you were very confused. Just checking up here. Yeah, Captain Spam. Hummingbirds are extremely territorial. I have witnessed this firsthand. We've got a cedar tree that lives outside of my home office window that is home to, or at least is disputed territory amongst a number of different birds. During the summer, usually it goes to the finches, and they kind of just love being there. During the winter, though, especially right now in the winter, it is home to the juncos, the little black-capped friends who spend most of their summers in the deep forest because apparently it's too hot. And of course, there is also the ever-present groups of little chickadee-looking nuthatches who just hop around and eat those cedar seeds year-round. And finally, there is the hummingbird population. Jalapeno, of course, being our resident hummingbird. We can tell it's Jalapeno, too, because she has, when she goes into drink, she's got this little, you may recognize this information from Can't Draw Horses Club, also on the Loading Ready Run Video Entertainment Network on Monday afternoons. But she's got a little flip up, a little cowlick of a feather that goes up in the back of her neck when she sticks her head directly into the feeder. And so we know when she's come by. But yeah, she spent a lot of time on the feeder until just a couple of days ago, and would chase away any other bird. And this was even during the freezing times, which when normally hummingbirds are a little bit more sociable to each other. No, she was having none of it. No one was allowed near her feeder. All right. That is, and we got some, actually, you can see here, we've got some cheese sticking to the blade, which in my mind means we're doing things right here. Ooh, Electrodine says, Cotswold with extra chives. Yes. Right, we need to wire it up. Let's get a wire going here. Where am I going to store this when I'm not using it? Okay, let's very quickly straighten this out. Ow. Oh no, Ian, you should not. Never put Ian in charge of straightening wire because I love doing it and it's the worst and it's the fiddliest. No, this is no. Just straighten it out. Woo! Ha. Big Willie style. Good God. Pretty sure me making Will Smith references like that is probably the equivalent of Tom Brokaw talking about... God. Okay, me making references to Tom Brokaw is like Ian making references to Will Smith. Okay. I gotta buy plant wire because it comes in straight lines. Oh just in time. Welcome back to Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry here on the Mighty Load and Run Video Entertainment Network, where we are making cheese, specifically cheddar cheese, and we just suffered a crash. And the just in time you heard from me was me running off screen because I forgot to turn the audio capture device back on post reboot, and everything's fine. Everything's fine. We got there. So let's get right back at it here. We are. Brownie Point says Ian is a monger of the cheese persuasion. Unfortunately, I don't believe I'm currently monging my cheese. I'm simply I'm making the cheese, which I think is a different maker. The monger of fish is not the catcher of fish, who is not the fisher of men. That would be Jesus. Where are we going here? We're going to Big iPhone Town because we are looking at this big ol' pot of tofu. No, it's not. Those are cheese curds, and we're going to take all of those pieces of water out of there. So we've cut the cheese, and now we let it rest for 10 minutes. Well, it's nearly 10 minutes. That's going to put us at 3 minutes. I'm looking here before the resting is done. Ow, my head. And then we are going to cook the curds, which will be slowly stirring the curds by lifting with our spoon from the bottom upwards while warming to 102 degrees Fahrenheit, which is significantly more Fahrenheit than we had before at 88. Once we're there, we're going to remove them from the heat and then rest the curds for another 30 minutes. The curds will settle to the bottom of the pot, and it's important not to let the curds settle undisturbed. Well, it's important to let the curds settle undisturbed in preparation for the next step, which is draining and shaddaring. So let's get at that, I guess, here. Okie dokie. You know what? We might actually just... That is need to be undisturbed, not actually taken outside into the cold. Was the wire ever sufficiently straightened, Electra? Yes, it was. It was, well, it was bent, and then I was about to re-straighten it, and, well, you know what? Let's leave it bent for the moment. Let's make it let's leave it U-shaped. Not U-shaped, me-shaped. All right. Let's turn on the heat. Or no, we wait. We rest the curds for 3 more minutes, and then it should take 15 minutes to go up to 188. That seems like a good time after that for us to break it out. But yeah, let's wait. While we're waiting, let's swap these out here because you don't need to have big brio. You can still look at the cheese, which is here. I guess we have a short AMA opportunity. We can do follow-up, actually, on previous Tinker Tailors. If I can just reach my hand in here without disturbing the camera too much. Into the freezer. Aha! There it is. Ah! What is going on? Right, you're crushing pierogies. Don't crush your pierogies. We still got a little bit of the cheese left from the blue cheese incident. They're still going pretty well. Ooh, actually, one of these might need to be removed. We're starting to get a bit of a wee bit of the old, I want to say, freezer burn on the edges there. Things are looking a bit white, so might be time to retire the blue cheese slices. But if I was able to actually maybe get a better coating on there so it's fully touched, we might be able to keep those for a little bit longer. What other kinds of cheeses would you like to make someday, says Eat the Rich? So when I was initially making this this particular Tinker Tailor setup, I was intending to go all the way with a scratch-made poutine. And turns out it takes a little bit longer than I thought it was to make cheese. So we went from the cheese curds to the cheddar. And part of that reason also was getting this press and follower in the kit. if I'm gonna be paying for a kit, let's make it the most economical purchase we can. Of course, God, it does take a while to grow potatoes. Though I am extremely experienced in growing potatoes, thanks to where I was living where I grew up in just north of Namao, Alberta, in a little acreage. We used to have a home garden on the acreage, actually big home garden. It's bigger than most houses I've lived in, frankly. But that's what you get when you live way out in the country where land is a little bit cheaper. But yeah, we used to dedicate almost half of that garden to growing our own potatoes. So a good portion of the springs of my youth is me taking out old seed potatoes that we had. Yukon Gold was always the favorite, and planting those and then going out a couple weeks later to do the hilling of the potatoes and of course the weeding and whatnot. But we had God, what do we have there? Well, we'll get back into the recollections here while I run through some of the other cheese. So Eat the Rich, yeah, there's that. Gouda I would love to make, and I would love to make a blue or some form of infused with the mold cheese. And I'm now honestly looking at used wine fridges in the area, any that are in the double-digit price range, because apparently they're perfect for cheese aging. Just love how your cheese has mold. You can just cut that part off and it's still good. Yeah, sometimes, depending on the mold. But yeah, generally it's okay. And a lot of cheeses you can actually just wash the mold off the top with some vinegar. This is not medical or food advice. Do not listen to Ian. Zimrick says, what's easier so far, making tofu or cheese? Zimrick, I would say that it's a wash so far. It's taking more time for the cheese, but it's pretty much as easy as the other. It's probably going to get harder in a second, though. Well, Peaks, I believe blue cheese incident refers to when Ian infused vodka with cheese for one of the loading ready run challenges. Incorrect, Americat. The blue cheese incident was a few episodes of Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry back when we used this sodium citrate, which is a chemical which breaks down some of the hardening compounds in cheese, and or rather softens it up, actually. You know when you make a cheese sauce and the cheese sauce breaks, which is to say the protein starts to clump up into these little it's like a powder. It's disgusting, and you just get oil everywhere. Terrible. Sodium citrate keeps that from happening and makes the cheese melty, which is why American cheese is actually cheese that has been processed with the sodium citrate to make it super melty. Let's see here. Kasumartsu, absolutely not making Kasumartsu. I might try that sometime in the future. It's I'd like to have the opportunity to have it where it's prepared by people who understand what it is. Narny Point says, haha, my mold fact came from a biology microbiome professor who tend to be more daring than most. Yeah, that sounds right. When you are more aware of the risks, you tend to be a little bit more cavalier about them because you understand where the risk points are. Have a look at this guy right here and the risks that he has. Let's see here. Anything else? Oh, wait, we should check the time. It's too much time. I've let that go for too long. Let us heaten this cheese. And let's get the thermometer in there as well. All right, so we are going all the way up to, and by all the way up to, I mean not that far, because this doesn't take much. You know what? Get that in there a bit farther. There we go. Perfect. And now we want that to go to, as we said, with slowly stir the key curds while warming up to 102. Okay, let's slowly stir the curds. How about camembert? Absolutely would love to do camembert. Any of those soft cheeses I'm a big fan of eating. But we'll have to see what making looks like. Ooh. Oh. They're not going to keep their they're not going to keep their cube shape, it looks like. But that's okay. We'll deal with that later. Aha! Looks like I missed a couple. Whew, a couple circlings there. That's okay though. I've been getting much better at my pot though, or stove, my hob, and learning how long it takes and how much energy it takes and what settings and whatnot to properly heat something up. A Heart of Goldfish says, are these curds poutine ready theoretically? I would say absolutely not. In fact, there's one up here on the end of this spoon here. Yeah, I'm going to try it because, oh yeah, no. You know what that tastes like? Milk. Because essentially, what we've done here, by acidifying milk and then adding the rennet, is we've caused the water in the milk and certain proteins to separate out. That's what this liquid is here. That's what's called whey. And the milk fats and, again, other proteins have coagulated in the in the mixture, and those are the curds. But these curds still have a significant amount of whey in them as well, and they also have no salt in them, which is something that you add to cheese to adjust the flavor and make it taste slightly more cheesy. And so these don't taste like cheese. Also, there is no stretchiness to it yet. There is no, again, because they're so packed with water. Imagine bubble gum that's just been just jammed with water to the point where it doesn't even come together at all. Oh, okay. What's Brownie Points here talking about Velveeta? Velveeta is actually we can zoom in there. Velveeta is in fact just like the processed cheese. Again, it's that regular cheese, but with that sodium citrate in it, which is why you tend to add Velveeta to other cheeses that you want to make more melty, because again, it provides that that breaking down of those chains. It prevents them from breaking down so that they don't just powderize and become disgusting. I may be thinking something different than if Velveeta is just pressed away. I didn't think that was the case. According to Scott from Pilgrim, curds and whey is what keeps us all from developing psychic powers. Well, I guess that's it for me. I've now tasted the curds in their raw state with a bit of whey on top of them. I guess that's me. So, Velveeta's made mainly with whey protein concentrate. Well, whey protein concentrate is then just the protein of whey. It still doesn't... milk protein concentrate, which is the milk. Milk, fat, and preservatives, yeah. That's just cheese. All right. How are we doing here for our temperature? Let's zoom a bit out there so you can all see that. You can find out when we enter the zone of correct doneness. And actually, I can see now that as we add heat to this, you can see that the whey is becoming more separate from the curds. The curds are firming up just a bit. And that's the exciting process here. So if I'm remembering things correctly, what we would do next, I mean, we probably is, we're going to press out the water. But if this were a mozzarella, we'd end up adding it back to the pot to get it to all heat up again, congeal, and then form it into a ball. But that's something for a different time, because I intend to come back to cheese in the future and not just cheddar. Also, hello to Kim and your raiders. Welcome to this pot of cheese. Oh wow, we should definitely swap over to the big camera for this, because this is, yay, there we go. Look at all that milk protein. If no plans have been made for the whey yet, I recommend making Jitost. Empyrean, the plans for the whey tonight is to put it in the drain and make it go away. Whey-based byproducts may be an experiment for another time, but for right now, I'm focusing on the cheese itself. I'm not too worried about the byproducts. That said, you know what? I'm going to double-click that term, copy it, paste it, and look it up later for experimentation. The Norwegian cheese treat. You never something. Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Curiouser and curiouser. I'm going to look into that in the future. Plenty of debate in the chat about Velveeta, which is always an interesting topic. Diamond MX, it's necessary because, my God, there are people out there with opinions on how to do cheese. And also to let's try. I mean, we're trying it out for ourselves. And we're all in this together. In a way that is completely unlike how the pandemic has turned out, we are, in fact, all in this together. I am just the only one who has to deal with the consequences of that. NX Media asks, another real question is, when do we convert the linen closet into a smoker? A linen closet, no. Second bathroom, possibly. We're already using it as a storage room, and the 3D printer lives in there because it has a air vent that vents the air from it directly out and into the outside. I'm not... Oh, smoker in there would be fine. I'm pretty sure I can actually put a smoker up on my balcony, and people wouldn't be too upset. Revenant has asked, have you watched much cheese-making YouTube, Ian? If not, Gavin Weber is a cheesemaker you might enjoy. Revenant, I don't actually watch much YouTube. I've been getting into it a little bit more as for instructions, I mean. I've been mainly gone to YouTube for my entertainment and video essays, but I don't know, I've been as I continue down my path of learning how to do more work painting and assembling models in Gunpla, I've been doing more and more YouTube, so that might be worth looking into. Ooh, Big Cheese went after him for going after it. Okay, we got one more, and we're done. We plunge down in. Ooh, God, no, do not. This is currently one of my favorite possessions, the thermo pen. And yeah, we're still at 101. So let's keep it on the hob, on the hot part. There we go. Yep. 102, 103. That's good enough for me. we're done. Yeah, if you don't have a good thermometer, or if you're not completely happy with your kitchen thermometer, highly recommend the Thermopen. They are rock solid and extremely good. Other thermometers are available, not sponsored content. Also should mention, not sponsored content. I just like buying local. They're great. Why am I using Thermopen in addition to thermometer and pot Diamond MX? Because the needle on that is really small. The Thermopen is a lot more exacting and instant, and I wanted to not have to guess based on a tiny needle. Remove from the heat and wait another 30 minutes. 30-minute timer. All right. Let's have a look at that. So let's just catch up on the chat here, and lots of love for Gavin Weber. I'm going to make notes of that as well. What I need is people to make notes for me and then send them to me afterwards. Gavin Weber cheese. That should do. And Access says I have the Thermopen. It's been good. The only reason I have it in purple is because they're costly. They're not the cheapest thermometer, but they occasionally do go on sale. And the purple ones went on sale at a time when I thought that only the purple ones would be going on sale because they were trying to clear out an unpopular color. And then a week later, the orange ones went on sale, which is the color I'd much rather have, or yellow. Yellow is the best color for thermometers. IMO. All right, yes, some sort of cheese secretary. Yeah, secretary, yes, I want a Tinker Tailor secretary. There we go. Revan, yeah, tweet me a link. Yeah, please, feel free to tweet me links all the time, people. I enjoy getting things from people, because it's good. All right, where are we thinking about going here? You know what I should do is actually thank some of you for your generosity and your continued support here on the channel. I'm going to read out some subs before we take ourselves the brook. And I think we need to start with... Let's go with 55 minutes. Yes. Anything under an hour was absolute. So let's say Vintage Spiffy, thank you so much for your 27 months of subscription. Innovative Methods has subscribed for 55 months. Thank you for your continued support as well. Boop, 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 boop. Oyger 300 is a 77-month subscriber as well, saying it's an auspicious number. It is indeed an auspicious number. Baby at 59 months, that's the sub, baby. Thank you for that empathic sub, baby. Frogum is a 25-month subscriber. Jesus saves, he sure is. Electra 310, 15 months. Cheese Night, yay. I'm excited to find out how this is going to finish up. Tipsular. Ooh, Tipulsar, 85 months, 50 months. Tipulsar, 85, 50 months. Tofu. Thank you so much, Deadreka, as well, for 83 months of subscription. Sparky the Wonder Snail is a 5-month subscriber. Glad you're back. I have never seen cheddar made at home. Me either. I'm excited. And Bread is Best is a 41-month subscriber. Thank you for your continued support as well. Bread is Best. And thank you all for being a part of this wonderful community. Why can't I drag this back into the tabs? Okay, we'll just make it. We'll just make a new one. Boom. Back to chat, and we've got 26 minutes left on the pot. I should just let these curds drop into the bowl. Not have them rest on the spoon. Actually, I'm just going to very carefully... Ooh, okay, that surface is a bit hot, so I'm going to very carefully move the camera over so you all can see what's happening over here. Make that big iPhone. You can see that the curds are sinking, and all that's left on the top here is the whey. This is To quote the book of Boba Fett featuring not Boba Fett, this is the way. And we need to do I need to cover it? Nope, just let it settle at the bottom. It's important that they be undisturbed in preparation for the next step. This is where they harden up. They get the firmness. I'm assuming we're going to find out very quickly in the next part when we do draining and cheddaring. In fact, let me read out the instructions for that. But before we do, let's take that mandatory break. We're going to take the break. You're going to get up, stretch your legs, move around a bit, go to the bathroom, swap your fluids. I'm going to sit down for a bit and do the same things, and then we're going to be back with more cheddar making from scratch here on Tinker Tailor Solar Fry on the Loading Ready Run Video Entertainment Network. Do not go away. Hello folks, and welcome back to Tinker Tailor Solar Fry here on the mighty Loading Ready Run Video Entertainment Network. My name is Ian Horner, and we are in the process of making some cheddar cheese. This is the way. As I mentioned before, beneath the surface you will find the curds. They are currently resting, and they will be for another 17 minutes and 36 seconds. So, what are we going to do in the meantime? Well, let me tell you. I hadn't thought of anything. This is weird. But while we were on break, I realized that I have run out of one of the very important pieces of stock I have to keep in my kitchen, especially for the remainder of the winter. In fact, I kind of want to do it once more before the winter goes away. I'm to make a Zuckerhut, because this past year was the first year I was able to make Zangenbowle, which is the German holiday traditional drink, fire tongue punch, which is essentially a mulled wine upon which you put in the punch bowl, and upon which you place the tongs for the Zangenbowle, and then you put a cone of sugar on there, the aforementioned Zuckerhut, and then you well, I'm gonna switch camera. Sure, why not? Let's switch camera. This is the tongs. It's got a little thing here for the side of the bowl, and then depending on how big your punch bowl is, you can stick that end on the other side there. What you do then? Mic 5. Everything's fine. Then what you do is you do a thing. Yes, the thing you do is pour Navy strength rum, which I have to make myself because you can't buy okay, Sidebar number 1, Navy strength rum. Navy strength rum is called Navy strength because it is the strength of rum used by the Navy. It is 55% alcohol. Why is it 55% alcohol? Because it is the flashpoint that you can. It's the amount of alcohol necessary to not cause your gunpowder to not explode. You often stored on big ships your rum with your gunpowder, and if somehow you get a hole in your rum thing and some holes in the gunpowder and they mix together, you still want your gunpowder to be able to explode. And so 55% alcohol is fine for that. You can pour that in the you can pour that in the gunpowder, and the gunpowder will still ignite. That means that it also will self-combust and burn properly. And so you pour that Navy strength rum on the Zuckerhut, you light that on fire, you continue to pour more and more over top of it, being very careful not to light anything else on fire. The caramelized sugar drips through the holes on this tong into the punch, making a deliciously boozy and beautiful holiday drink. Why can't we buy Navy strength rum? I don't know. Probably something stupid about the government and the fact that all of the liquor that we are possibly allowed to buy in this province is controlled and decided by one small government office. Not that I'm bitter that we need approval on every possible import liquor. that can be sold at retail. Anyway, so what we have to do is then, gotta buy some air filters with Beach. So what I do is just take Navy Strength, or not Navy Strength rum, Bacardi 151, or Lamb's rather, 151, which is proof, 151 proof, 75% alcohol, and regular strength Lamb's Navy rum, which is, let me just double check this because it's BS. Maybe, where's my other bottle? I think it's your standard proof. Point is that it ends up being almost, if you mix it half and half, you get the right level of strength to it. So you just have to buy double the bottles of booze and mix it yourself. But yeah, I need to make the Zuckerhut because they're impossible to buy in Canada, and I could import them from overseas. But why? That's expensive. And honestly, I tried for a couple of years to be able to buy Zuckerhuts, and they just don't exist. So the only option was to make it myself. I had to literally Thanos it. And I need to get a bowl from behind the camera here, and it's causing me trouble. There we go. So, what we need to do for that is we need simply, you know what, let's go on back over to the camera here. And we'll throw down something to work on. Bowl. We need sugar. Oh God, do I have a cup of sugar? We need a cup of sugar. Do I actually have one full cup of sugar? If we don't, I can probably make do, but turns out we don't actually go through a lot of sugar in this house. All right, so 1 cup of sugar. That's a half cup. Can we do another one? Come on. Apparently, no, we can't. So, for the second time this stream, thanks, Obama. But we have extra sugar in the sugar reserve, which is shaped like a milk container. I know, it's very confusing. Don't question me. Don't ever question me. Stir that up because it's a bit old. There. Okay. And hey Siri, add sugar to my shopping list. Siri's in my back pocket and can't hear me. Add sugar to my shopping list. Sorry if you didn't need sugar, you're now getting sugar on your shopping list. All right, and then we simply need, where did I put it here? Aha! An teaspoon of water. That's all. No more, no less. And for mixing, not but a fork. And then just add your teaspoon of water to the sugar. And you're going to stir it until it has the consistency of sand. Okay, we're just going to stir that sugar a bit more until we get it all nicely sticky and hydrolyzed and ready for forming. Look at that there. Oh, right, yeah. I left this out. I should take this away. Someone during the break mentioned that it's time to get cheese. And I was thinking, ooh, that sounds like a really good idea. The problem is the only cheese that I currently have accessible in the office. The office? No, in my apartment is from Saputo, the Burglars of Flavor. Other cheeses are available. I strongly suggest you get other cheeses. That's just there for... Ow! That's there for sandwich texture. And cheese is also extremely expensive in Canada, no matter what the type, so sometimes I slum it at the bottom. Anyway, that looks pretty good. What we're going to do now, the interesting part, next you're going to add it to your mold, because, I mean, as you can see, this bowl-shaped mold isn't really going to work with the tongs. It's not the right size. So I cheated and found this at the local thrift shop, which is just a conical beer flute. And so we're going to add sugar to that in a very special way. Hold on, we're going to go for a ride because I need to open my drawer. I need to, out of my drawer, get my muddling stick, which actually gets more use from this than anything else. And then we're going to add about a third of the sugar into the glass. And you don't want to do much more than that, because you want to make sure you've got it nice and packed. I'm going to take that off the stove while I pack it down so it doesn't disturb the curds. Okay, and then you get nice and packed there. And then we're going to add some more sugar. And I hope to God that I didn't do too much sugar. I think we may have, but we'll find out. Okay, and maybe one more there. Sure, a bit more. Tamp that down again, lifting it up to avoid disturbing stuff. Electra, a cone of brown sugar would probably work just as well for this, but we do not get those. I've never found one here. What do you think the Rich says, do you think it's coincidence this is a German beer glass? I mean, I see the irony in it, personally, but I honestly think that it is just a coincidence. Whoop. Drop some sugar there. Oh man, I'm just making a mess everywhere. That's okay. It's not like we're out of sugar or anything. Tamp, 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 tamp. And finally, the last bit. Just a bit more. All right, that seems good. Lick the spoon. I'm not 12 anymore. And tamp that down. You can see that that's one homogeneous cone of sugar going all the way down. Now, all we do is we put this in the cupboard for about a week or up to a month. I like to just leave it as long as necessary, which is a long time. And then we're just going to tap that down on the cutting board afterwards, and the Zuckerhut will just slightly slide down. Package that up in a box for later use, and Fritz is your uncle. And that's how we make a Zuckerhut. And should have done that a while back, actually. Yeah. Sugarloaf Zuckerhut. Zuckerhut. Zuckerhut? No one has ever said that my German is any good, so I believe everyone for that. Right. How much time we got left? How much time did that burn? That burned almost all the time necessary, because we're looking at 3 minutes and 52 seconds left on the clock before the draining and the cheddering. So let's read out those instructions, shall we? We'll read them together. With 1 cup measure, dip off the whey until you reach the level of the curds. You will need a spare bowl for this. To avoid getting any curds in the liquid, put the cup measure against the side of the bowl of the pot and allow the liquid to slowly drain in. When you get to the level of the curds, stir for another 10 minutes to release more whey. Now, perform a grip test with one hand. Scoop a fistful of curds and gently squeeze them together. They should bind together and then not break, and then do break apart when you use your thumb on the same hand. If they don't bind together, stir another 10 minutes. Then rest the curds for 5 minutes while preparing your colander bowl cheesecloth combination. Ensure the cheesecloth is double layered and covers the entire colander. Then pour the entire pot into the cheesecloth lined colander and let drain for a few minutes. Then return the curds back to the pot. Tilt the pot to the side for 5 minutes to allow a little more whey to drain, and then drain off the excess whey before salting and adding flavors. And then hopefully we will have time then to finish up with step 5, where we'll salt and flavor, and then get started with the pressing. And because we'll be waiting on 60 minutes of the first pressing, we'll probably cut it off there for the evening, if that's all right with y'all. Let's have a look back at that time. Let's bring this back over to the burner, because that is now nice and cool. Slightly slide that in. Just adjust this camera. There we go. Good reflection. Good reflection. Oops, watch out for my microphone. Do not touch that with your fingers. Text Mervin says, Ian, do you enjoy or have an interest in brewing, root beer? I've been curious about root beer. I used to do a lot more home brewing in terms of beer. This particular space is not as good as the previous one, because it's not nearly as open. I mean, if you want to see how much space I've got, that's me running up against the counter here. And then that follows just all the way down here. It's a galley kitchen, which I like because it doesn't waste space, but it doesn't leave a lot of space for fermentation and cleaning of the things. But if there's like if you've got a recipe that's, somewhere in the 1 gallon to, let's be honest, in the 1 gallon yield range, that might be interesting to try. Because boy, do I like me some good root beer. I think I actually might have some fancy ones in the fridge from a local brewery. Gingembre. Oh, here we go. Butterbeer from Spinnaker's. And then spruce beer, and that's all. Ooh, and then a... Oh no. I hope these are okay. These are some very old pickled carrots. And they look like they're good, so I'm not going to disturb them as much as possible, because these pickled carrots are the... These are the only thing left I have from my grandmother. And I loved her recipe. It's not... I haven't been saving them for any particular reason, but good to have that there. All right. We are at the point where we need to remember the instructions that I just read out to y'all and then instantly just let pass through my head. And why, do you ask? Because they're on paper. I don't need to remember anything. Just that camera too. All right, 1 cup measure, dip off the whey until you reach curds, and spare bowl. Okay, well, let's get a spare bowl. Get a big bowl. Please excuse camera movements. The kitchen's great, except when I need to get things out of places and have many, many stands in here. People should see what these places look like sometime. I should really just tweet a picture of the inside of my house out to the internet. We're gonna use the big cup from Amco. Wait, why does Amco have a patent on 18.8 stainless steel measuring cups? Ludicrous. Yeah. All right, let's. So it looks like there's a lot of loose curd here at the top. I'm not going to be too worried about that. About bringing that out. We are going to lose some curd, but that's just how we roll here. Hopefully it's not so much that it actually causes any sort of a... it's not going to be a problem. We're going to lose, what? A few grams of cheese? Look at that water. Is that coming... That whey is absolutely... God, it's almost green. Milk is disgusting and essential to life. Cheese is absolutely one of those foods that I'm very interested in figuring out how it got made originally. Like, I know there's the old adage about the first guy who stored excess milk in a sheep's stomach for later and woke up one morning, oh, whoops, why is my milk all hard? Like, yeah, obviously someone had to discover the coagulating power of rennet. But you would have had to sour the milk first, too. It all seems very apocryphal to me. Oh, we're looking at some really good curds here, friends. Cows eat grass, of course, the screen. There, Markov, do they, though? I'd love to know that all of my cows that I'm getting my milk from are absolutely getting it from grass, or getting fed from grass, and not in said feedlot. And honestly, if that's the case, what we're probably seeing here is just actually a lot of, not green, but yellow from corn. The feed, not the band. I feel like there could be a better way of doing this. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cheat in a second here. I just got a fantastic new toy recently. Alright, so I think we're at the point where we might want to wait 10 minutes for them to release more whey, because we are down at the level of the curds. So while we're there, let me grab another bowl. Yoink! So many bowls getting out, you'd think this was Christmas time and I was making clarified milk punch. What we're gonna do here is we are going to grab my new best friend, the fine mesh strainer. We're gonna get all those curds for the biggest amount of value. For value! Grab this bottom. There we go. Oh, look at that. That's terrible. I'll just slough that off in there. This, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse that off now. Just realizing, cheese seems like it'd be something to be that would be very easy to clean from a fine mesh strainer. No, absolutely not. Two-pack of Filtrate 1500s for $34. Or if you bought your own, and then I'll put this one back.
Alert from Beige Deals?
It is, yes. Beige Deals is currently giving me information. Huh. You know what? I do need new filters. Send a text message to Beige saying, "Hey, Beige, comma, I'm currently on Tinker Tailor, and we've all decided, all of us, that we should definitely buy some filters for Ian." Nope, that's not what I said at all.
Okay, I'll send this.
Don't send.
Okay then.
Hi, Beej, I'm on Tinker Tailor. Buy the filters.
Who do you want to send it to?
You know what? You got that wrong too again, Siri. One more time. Send a message to Beej. Wow, it said Brendan. No. Send a message to Beej saying, "Please purchase the filters. I'm on Tinker Tailor." Period.
Okay, I'll send this.
You to do it? Okay.
Okay, it's sent.
Oh, got there. Alrighty, let's bring that back in there. Take a break and call Beach? Absolutely not, Square Dot. That would involve talking to a human being, and I don't like that. Does anyone remember how long it's been since we did some whey? No? It's probably time. Oh no, it's 10 more minutes. Oh, cool. Beej is also using text-to-speech because he just told me, "I'm compelled, sorry." Or, "I compelled forgot, sorry." Reply to Beej saying, "It's okay, comma, it's been a good bit for all of us."
Okay, I'll send this.
So Beej and I are buying air filters for our I hate the word redneck and I hate the word ghetto when describing low-tech solutions for this. A low-tech air filter, which is you take a big old box fan and you gaff tape a furnace filter to one side of it, the suck side, and then, it's as good, in fact better than most commercial air purifiers, and the cheapest thing you can imagine. 5-minute timer. That should get us to the point where we can start getting more out of there. Oh, this is when we get to do the test, so I'm very excited about this. We're gonna get my hand in the right in the curds. Suppose we can remove that there. asked about the brewing because I have a few pint-and-a-half flip-top bottles that will work well for that, says Texan. Same here. I forget which particular brewery it is out of BC, but they every time I did a batch of beer, I would have enough to put in my keg, enough to put in a 2-liter pop bottle that I would then use for shika forced carbonation, and enough to put in a couple of these 2-pint size flip-top beer bottles. And so I still have a few, I think, home brews left, but I mainly gave them as gifts. They were really good for that. Really good, especially for doing a Secret Santa type thing, or a steal the gift exchange. Okay, let's put the whey away until I decide I'm actually not using that for anything. And we still got 3 minutes left on the timer. All right, let's look at you, chat. What do you got for me? The Black Death says, I just got here, haven't made cheese outside of paneer before. Are we going to age this cheddar or not? Black Death, yes, we are going to age this for at least 3 months, which is the recommended amount of time in the booklet, though apparently it can be aged in your just standard fridge for up to a year. So that's going to be fun. My Android says, for a few minutes I've been wondering what the weird mushroom-like clump is. Yep, that's the light. It's like, I guess I could shut that off. That is completely unnecessary. Hey, great. What are we looking at here? Oh, Texan uses the 4-filter version of the of our jank air filters for wildfire smoke. Yeah, we've started running it in our bedroom overnight, and it's really helped, at least for me. Mariquette says, so after all this stream, I feel like Ian needs to DIY an IBM-style computing cheese cutter. I don't know necessarily what that means, but I like it. And the Daily Maple Syrup says, what do you plan to make with the cheddar? I intend, the Daily Maple Syrup, to make my mouth happy by putting the cheddar inside of it, masticating it, swallowing it, and then digesting it with my powerful lactose digestive system. Texan's bottles are from a seasonal Bavarian nutmeg root beer, which is what prompted you to ask about the root beer. Interesting. Zimrit CJ says, isn't the air filter set up how Alton Brown made beef jerky? Yes, he did, and in fact, that was the reason I had furnace filters that were sized for specifically a box fan. The computing cheese cutter. Okay, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna have to look into that later. Thank you so much, America, for putting that link in there. Will this year's The Button project involve cheese? Absolutely not, Himyul. We have I've got some plans for that already, but it's gonna take some more time. But it will not be edible. Zimmer CJ, I just wanted to double tap on that Alton Brown comment on that. The reason I talk so confidently about these air filters is that, unlike most of these sorts of things, like swamp coolers and other things, there was a gentleman on Hacker News who did a proper air filtration test, comparing with a couple different air particulate sensors, and comparing it against a commercial air filter in a closed environment, closed room, with just a regular room, just ambient dust, but then also loading the room with dust by you burning some incense in there. And yeah, the data curves cannot be denied. They work extremely well. 5 minutes is done. Let's squeeze some cheese. All right. Left hand grip. Sure. We're making sinister cheddar tonight. All right. Let's grab some curd. Okay. And then we're going to want to bind it together like Octopath Traveler. Cling together. Well, you know what? That looks right to me. That's, yeah. They're binding. You can flop around in the hand, and then very easily just comes apart with the thumb. All right, let's add another 5-minute time to wait on that cheese. 5-minute timer. Rinse that hand off. Oh, hey, Lunchbox! Thank you for coming back and mentioning the burnout device from last episode. Because I was also that is a question that hadn't come up for me and made me think a lot. I've been talking a lot about it over the past 2 weeks. So thank you for bringing it up. And also thank you, Lauderdrit, for pointing people towards Twitter. That's generally the preferred method for getting me, because I gotta split my attention between here and everywhere. But yeah, generally best not to repeat things too often in chat, if only to not draw the ire of the mods. Love you, mods. Sorry, I only laugh because I'm realizing how ridiculous it is to say words like "love you, mods" and then immediately go in, feel how silky my hand feels from the cheese, sniff it, and then just... I love my job sometimes. All right, we're waiting. God, I'm not good at the waiting game. I honestly should keep a copy of Hungry Hungry Hippos around just for these moments. Actually, thank you, Wicker Guide, for your generosity, and thank you for reminding me of things that I can do to pass the time while we're here. 1 second. There appears to be liquid on my keyboard, which is not good for the trackpad, or at least not good for trackpad response. There we go. Okay. There we go. And sitting back. Fall back to my improv square.cube. If you're just doing it on yourself, that's just called a really bad stand-up routine. Seriously, there's nothing I hate more than telling people, yes, I'm a professional improv comedian, or I'm a professional comedian of any sorts, and then the first question I get asked is, oh, great, tell me a joke. I don't know any jokes. Maybe I should just learn from Wheeler. All right. We got to thank Desperado Zod for 4 months of subscription, saying Prime Bezos Bucks for all. Thank you for that continued support, and thank you for your Bezos Bucks. Mnemonicon has subscribed. That came out really weird. Mnemonicon, 46 months. Oh, joy. Birthday and sub day. That's 2 things. Well, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Big F you to Universal Studios and their copyright holdings, and this is now in the public domain. Happy birthday to you. Lady T-Cat, subscribing for 8 months. It's been 8 months already. Thank you again to the person who gifted me these subs, and thank you for being around to be gifted at. Nando69, dropping bits on us. Fill this man with filter bits. Give this man filter bits. I have them. Thank you. Weekended Jedi 42, subscribing for 16 months. Thank you so much for that. Wicker Guide, subscribing for 53 months. Chemistry is like war. You prepare, you worry, you plan, you hurry, and you wait. Good advice, and thank you for those 53 months of subscription. And Lunchbox 13, gifting a sub to Awesome Sorcery. It's a brand new subscriber. Thank you both for your generosity and for being around to hang out as we make some cheese. I've been enjoying this a lot. Okay, well, I guess we again have to close the window and then open up a new one. Thanks, Chrome. Only use Chrome if you have to. Alrighty. Here, Markov says, I have one joke for you, Ian. Who was Snow White's brother? Let's see if I can suss this out. No, all I can think of is Jeremy White, and if Jeremy White was somehow Snow White's brother, that would be really, really weird. Thank you as well to Lau Judrit, who has subscribed for 36 months. I forget I didn't give my Bezos bucks this month. Have a cheese sub. Thank you for the cheese sub. It's cheesy, just like the Bezos bucks. 10 seconds remain. Close enough. Okay. I'm still trying to see if the oh, egg white. Get more. And I got the get the yolk. Right. That's you're getting a personal mental band for that. Here we go. Rest curd 5 minutes. Preparing your colander bowl and cheesecloth combination. Well, you know, I probably should have prepared my colander bowl and cheesecloth combination. Let's go to the big camera while I open the drawer. Welcome to my bowl drawer. I think we're gonna go with big metal. And suddenly really glad I just ran this through the dishwasher the other day, because that's gonna be necessary. Cheesecloth. Cheesecloth comes from the kit, but also is something I keep in stock here in my home. Because you always need cheesecloth, or you need cheesecloth more than you think. I'm sure cheesecloth is double layered and covers the entire colander. Let's take this out here. Working with cheesecloth is this is a nice cheesecloth too, I gotta say. The other stuff I've worked with in past has been pretty terrible. Good thing we got a lot of it here. Let's see here. If we do a double up, then we can cover that bowl. Okay, that's enough. Let's fold that in half, and let's get our knife, because we can always resharpen a knife. Smells like this was stored in a smokehouse, TBH. Very well may have been. Oh yeah, no. Symphonic Lolita. The kit does come with cheesecloth, and like I said, I do keep cheesecloth around because it's useful for straining so many things. All right, and then let's just wow, I've already done a number on this, haven't I? Okay, you know what? Making this easy on myself. Grab and snip. Don't worry about it. Dot. Oh, thank God. Oh, you're still there. I touched a cable while I was over there, and I lost you all, and it was very, very frightening to me. So I'm happy to have it back. All right, let's cover that up. And we are completely covered, which is the important thing. Let's even things out a bit. Definitely probably kept that a little bit too close, but we're good, we're good. All right, where is my thing here? Pour the entire pot of curd into the cheesecloth-lined colander. Let drain for a few minutes, then return the curds back to the pot. Tilt the pot on its side for 5 minutes to allow a little more drainage. Let's do that. Are we ready? Big iPhone time. Let's lift and right down the center. Okay. Now let's lift that out of the bowl because big metal is too big, it seems. You know, I'm going to actually get a... Oh, let's put that on top of a big red. Oh boy. 2, 1, lift. There we go. Okay, that'll probably settle better in the colander because that keeps it out of the errant whey, and that's more whey. It's too much whey. Where's little Miss Muffet when you need her? Okay, just a second. All right. 5-minute timer. No, 45 minutes is too long. 5-minute timer. Photosynthesis says, get some French fries and gravy for that shiz. This is, these are small curds. They're unsalted. These are, well, I mean, let's take another one. Ooh, those, well, It definitely has a skin of cheesiness to the outside, but it is very, still extremely liquid on the interior. I'm intrigued. You know what? Actually, because we're at the right time frame, I'm going to say this is a time to take a short break, because that's what we do. We have to stretch our legs, do the break things, swap our fluids, and run some ads, and we'll be back with more of the cheese making in just a few minutes. Don't go away. Ah! All my jokes. No, there were no jokes. Look at how much whey we have. I cannot believe, like, this, in addition to this bowl, we have, like, that's got to be more than, that's got to be more than 4 liters, right? This doesn't make sense. What is this sorcery? Well, it's all the conservation of matter and energy and whatnot. Let's go back to the big iPhone. Not there, over here, because while you were gone, I put the cheeses back in the pot. We got a little bit left in the cheesecloth there, but it's fine. We'll deal with that. Never. 5 minutes has basically come up, and we are draining the last bit of the cheese out of that pot. So I'm just going to spin that around, because we're going to need, you know what, let's regular camera. Boop. Hey, there we go. All right, now we're going to need to deal with the cheese pressing. Oh God, bear with me, folks, as I just completely ruin my shots here. Bonk. 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 Good. Plate, and let's get our cheese mold, which I just washed during the break, because we're gonna that's gonna be a thing. And yeah, next step is review the DeviantArt terms of service that are updating. Nope, we'll deal with that later. what we're going to do is put the cheesecloth in the bit here. Lecture 310 says, I was distressed the first time I made cheese, but how much of the milk did not end up becoming the cheese? I mean, I think water is free, right? When it comes to maintaining life and, you know what, that's an attitude that got Western civilization into some very bad places right now. No, water is not free. Do good things with water. We're going to make a dual layer of, actually we're going to make a dual layer of cheesecloth here because it wants to be a good dual layer, but we're not going to go too even because what we want to do is afterwards we want to be able to get another layer of cheesecloth that we can fold over the top, and I think that we've done that. So now what we're going to do, as the instructions have told us, aha, important thing here. So we need to drain off that excess whey before salting or adding flavor. So let's get rid of that whey. There's just a little bit left there at the bottom. How to get rid of that? Let's just scoop it out with a cup. Sure. Let's make this go away. You can't fire me. I quit. Now, I'm going to finish this portion. We're going to keep going until the next time the instructions say wait a goddamn hour. Okay, I absolutely love doing things for you folks. It's too much fun. It's sad that we only have 3 hours sometimes. Although, honestly, more than 3 hours could get a bit tiring without more significant breaks. Whew. I mean, I got out of retail to avoid standing up for more than 3 hours at a time. That's a lie. I've never worked retail. And that's mainly because I've never had the opportunity to be young enough to have it make sense. Okay. Can we fold over with that? Yes, we can. But before we do that, let's put that away because the next step is salting and flavoring. And here's where things are going to get amazing. Where is my favorite wooden turning tool? MSG? Nay, Nyquister. This is a job for my good friend Kosher Salt. Hello, I'm full of dry salt. I'm a seller, but not the kind that's I'm not a salt monger. I'm a salt seller. I don't know why I'm speaking this way, but I used to do this all the time at IHOP. Seriously, who else out there made the syrups sing and talk at the IHOP? I can't be the only one. How much do we need? We need a total of... Salt-wise, we want 1 teaspoon of fine salt per half pound of cheese. So we're gonna need 2/4 teaspoons. Because my teaspoon is... Where is my teaspoon? Well, it's wet anyway because I made it wet for the Zucker Hut. So we'll use the half teaspoon because it's dry. And we want to use the uniodized salt. Although, isn't kosher salt uniodized as well? It probably is. But you know what? Let's use what they got here. Okay. Let's see. Do you specifically try to match the same salt container that Alton uses? Rock Pusher? No. Corey tried to match the same one Alton used because I was so enamored with it, and so she got it for me as a gift for Christmas a number of years back. So I'm happy about that. 1 teaspoon of salt. Let's just break up these curds here a bit. There's going to be breakage. And this is a full pound of cheese, so we're going to, using your hands, so we need 1/2, sprinkle, sprinkle, and I like things good and salty, sprinkle, sprinkle. Now, they also offer flavor options. If you choose to flavor your cheddar with whiskey, liquid smoke, jalapenos, etc., do this now. Whiskey, 1 ounce per pound of curd, jalapenos, 2 freshly chopped per pound, liquid smoke, 1/4 teaspoon per pound. Well, you know what? I didn't buy any jalapenos, and we already talked about the jalapenos, so we're not going to do that. But what we are going to do is, where did I put you? There you are. We are going to add some liquid smoke, which is literally just smoke and liquid agents, usually water, if you're making it correctly. Let's add 1/4 teaspoon of that to the mix. Now, unfortunately, that's not anything special, but ooh. What's 1 fluid ounce in milliliters? 0.03 liters. That's 30 milliliters. Well, I just so happen to have this beaker that goes up to it goes up to 160. But I also have some local whiskey from our good friends at the Moon Distilling Corporation. 100% island barley. Well, we're using island milk. Why don't we add some nice whiskey to this? Add our anti-fogmatic bliss. Again, other island and I love being able to say that. Other Vancouver Island whiskeys are available, and you are not allowed to pour out for the cheese if you're not also pouring out for Ian. But let's start with Ian. Ian gets 30. The cheese gets 30. And for those of you watching along at home, cheers. Oh, that is smooth. And it's got just a bit of peatiness to it, which I think is going to go, well, I know it's going to go really well with the liquid smoke because I can smell the liquid smoke. And it's going to go well. To answer some questions here, Electra 310. Ian does the show once a week. No, I do the show once every fortnight, Electra. It was Jessica Engel who was asking, how often do I cook? I try to get a cooking stream in at least once every few months because being creative and trying new things isn't always hardware, software based. And I really like cooking and making food because I like eating. And so I think it's fun to... It's one of those areas where we don't think too much about trying new things either. And honestly, having now done this, I mean, doing it for a stream is one thing, because you got to take so many breaks, and you've got to continue with the chatting and the discussions, stay on top of things. It's rather difficult, and it slows things down, but I can see myself very easily doing this in much less time, with much less effort, maybe with an audiobook in the background or some podcasts. And when it comes to... So I know you Americans out there in the chat don't have this problem because you don't have a dairy lobby that is just completely messed up. But cheese is ridiculously expensive in Canada for what it is. I absolutely envy the variety and inexpensiveness of American cheese departments, I guess, is the best way of putting it in India. So being able to put together a pound of cheese for what is essentially going to be just over $4 is unheard of. Like, normally when we're looking at cheese of any sort in like a cheddar, you're looking at $6 to $7 for one of those bars of cheese that looks like a bar of butter. It's terrible. But yeah. 10 times the population sell to Ian. How do the American delis do it? Volume? No. How do American delis? Yes. How do American dairies do it? Lack of government intervention in the cost of milk and derivative prices, and also huge excise taxes on imports. I'm a big fan of socialism, but only when it benefits the consumer. I have opinions. All right, let's get this into the cheesecloth. Remember, the consumer is the one who actually has the means of production, because they're the ones making things. And if you're... Nope, I'm not going to go down that road. Right. Let's put that in there. I think that's the last thing we need to do. Double check again on our list of things. We've flavored. Now we've lined the mold with... Oh, we need to dampen the cheesecloth, which we have not done. Actually, dampening is probably going to make this a lot easier, come to think of it, when it comes to making it easy to line. Get that right open. There we go. Plenty of cheesecloth for everyone. By everyone, I mean me and the cheese. Here are the only things I'm thinking about right now. All right, there we go. That seems good. Okay. Now, do we have enough? Yes, we do have enough space to give that a fold over afterwards, so we're good. Let's get cheese in the mold. Line the mold. Damp cheesecloth, add curd, making sure to press down lightly on the curd and pull upwards on the cheesecloth to avoid bunching. Fold one layer of cheesecloth on top and place the follower lid on top of the cheesecloth. All right, let's get to adding. Okay, and let's get that in there and gently push down. I'm gonna push that closer there. Oop. I think I'm gonna change tools here too. One of my favorites. Ooh, that was loud. Betty Crocker and your silicone scoop. All right, that's gonna make short work of all this. And into there. And into the mold. Okay, let's press down on that. Pull up, and press and pull, and press and pull. I have no doubt that we are going to be able to fit all of this in here very quickly. Yeah, who doesn't mold their scrambled eggs? Oh, this smells amazing. The liquid smoke and the whiskey are just going together so well. I'm gonna have to talk to Moon Underwater about possibly partnering with a local cheese group, because apparently, well, not apparently, they're having looks like they're having trouble selling through their initial batch, which I'm disappointed by in the local community, because it's a good whiskey. And we need more good whiskeys. Period. The need for good whiskey is constant. Demand good whiskeys everywhere. All right. Here we go. We have our disc. And it's going to... So we need to fold one layer on top of the cheese, and then place the follower lid on top of the cheesecloth. Let's fold our singular layer of cheesecloth over top of the lid. Yes, like that. Just like that. And then the follower. Okay. Oh, wow. That's going to take some weight, which is, I guess, not surprising, given that they suggest it. You will be pressing in 3 stages using 2 different weight amounts. Use a draining mat or cooling rack tray combo to raise the mold and catch the liquid runoff. If you don't have a cheese press, it is important. Well, we don't have a cheese press, but we do have, thankfully, these quarter sheet pans, which are one of my favorite new things that I've purchased in the past year. They're really good for, I've served burgers on them. I've served food on them. You just tear off some parchment paper, and they're gorgeous. They're useful for so many things, and right now they're going to be useful for catching all of the whey that's going to be coming out of these this cheese press. So if you don't have a cheese press, it's important to create a flat, wide area, like a cutting board or piece of wood, to rest your weights on top. Okay, and then you must create a connector from the follower to the level, otherwise the level will simply rest on the rim of the cheese mold and fail to press the cheese. So for 60 minutes, we're looking at 20 to 25 pound weights. Account for any added weight. What's 25 pounds in kilograms? 11? Good God. Okay. Well, let's get that down there. What I'm going to do as a presser is this. Yeah, that's going to be a good pressing point, because that will that'll hold. And then cutting board wise, we have several, but let's just use the big boy. Oh, this is going to be, I'm not liking this. What is 11 kilograms? I mean, it's 11 liters of water, which is a lot. Do we have anything that weighs more than that or less than that in here that's easy to get at? Hold up. I think we can do this. Hold on. So, in anticipation of going out to get that milk today, as I said, they didn't deliver it, but there's a local place that will give you your whole milk in a growler, if you like, and they just make you tear it beforehand. And I know that this will hold, or this is 1.145 kilograms by itself, and this is 1.19 kilograms by itself. So, and I know beforehand, because I tested them out, these will each hold up to the tip. Let's swap cameras here. These will hold up to the lips. 2 liters each. So, 2, 4, 5, 6. Damn it! Not quite enough. 6. We need 5 more kilograms. Okay, yeah, you're right. We do have some cast iron. Let's hope that'll do. Damn it, water, why aren't you heavy enough? What do you weigh? Actually, whey might weigh more than water. There we go. Let's see what this does. Okay, that's another 1.5 kilograms. So that's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Huh. Okay. More difficult than I thought. Oh, hold on. Bag of rice? How much are you? Bag of rice? 3 kilograms. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We need 2 more kilograms after that. Or we could probably just press for less. No, we need to press for the appropriate amount of time, for the appropriate what have you. I guess let's get depressing. Let's get depressing. Oh, I've also got the 4-liter milk thing. That's probably all that we need. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to say it's close enough. Oh yes, I'm guessing that you're all learning about the fact about how the metric system works right now. That 1 cubic centimeter of water equals 1 gram. 1,000 cubic centimeters of water is equal to a liter. Therefore, 1 liter of water is 1 kilogram. It's magic. I mean, it's not magic, it's science. It's really science. Electra, they say it doesn't need to be up on a rack, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep an eye on the on how much liquid is come out, and then we can just scoop it up as need be. Right, so that's 1. Oh god, oh god, oh good god. You know what? We need to add some more support to this. We're just going to move that up against the back edge of the stove. God, this is worrying. Boop, boop. This is probably the worst part. You know what? There may be a episode of Tailor in the future where we just build a straight up cheese press. This is going to be ridiculous. Okay. And you go here, and then let's get you right up against there. Good. That seems to support that direction in a nice way. Water goes on top. And then I guess we're going to balance the 2 growlers there as well, because that's going to be not at all a problem. So people are saying a phone books or a mortar from Mortar and Pestle. Nope, not enough. And I don't think I have any C-clamps big enough for this right now. I'm just going to need to buy myself some... Will it tip over as it presses, being braced against the slanted surface? Let's hope not. Just set your microwave on it. Oh yeah, no, DIY cheese press, absolutely easy to do. Just need some threaded cord, some butterfly wing nuts, and threaded rod wing nuts, and prayer. Okay. Now, can we balance these? I mean, we can. So if I just stay here and 1 hour timer and just, read Twitter and monitor this press, this will probably work. I don't think anywhere else is better suited for this, but if I may, let's have a look. Let's go on a journey here. Get right in there. You can see that it is beginning to work as intended. And we'll have to, as I said, change out that area down there. I mean, honestly, what I could probably do is just put a towel in there and then use that towel to absorb excess stuff and then wring out the towel as things go along. I feel like there's too much pressure going on this. 20 to 25 pound weights. Huh. Well, it's mostly working. Ooh boy. Yep, that's I don't like this at all. I'm usually pretty good at balancing things. Okay, well, you know what? There's going to have to be some... Oh, wait a second. If we do this... There we go. That kind of evens out the... There we go. That evens out the pressure a bit more. I'm happier with that. Okay. Well. Cool. We are pressing. We are pressing, and I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to keep an eye on this as it goes on for the next hour, I guess. After an hour, flip the cheese, redress the cheesecloth, and press again at 65 minutes at the same 20 to 25 pound weight. And then after that second pressing, flip the cheese one last time, redress the cheesecloth, and then 12 hours at what the 50 pound weight? 45 to 50 pounds. You know what? I guess that's how you get a dry cheese. Place on a cool... Okay. Chat, I figured it out. I'm not going to be able to show it off on screen because I don't know where they are off the top of my head. But I do have 2 cutting boards, or 2 of these aluminum things, and I do have a couple of ratchet straps. And I think that might work. So I think we're going to do that after we get off the stream here. But yeah, it's going to be an hour of me making sure this doesn't fall over for the next little while, and that's pretty much it. You need to raise it off the sheet. No, it's out. Well, you know what? Let's wick that away, just because. Let's make it easy on ourselves. Come on out, water. Oh yeah, that's just coming out. You know what? Maybe we do need to get a bit of a grate on there. Thankfully, I have one. Boy, yeah, Lysander, I think I can throw up some shots on Twitter to see how it goes. But we're not going to. I definitely will not leave you in the dark as to the results of the cheese. In fact, quite frankly, given it's going to be 3 months before I'm willing to tuck into this, let's all get back together in 3 months and taste some cheese on whatever program it is that we are doing for that particular Tinker Tailor. But for the moment, I think we're going to have to say good night because as I said, this is boring, and I don't I don't want to subject you to it, and I don't want to be here for another 12 hours because that's too much. But I do want to thank each and every one of you for joining me tonight for this particular Let's Try. It's been a lot of fun. It's been extremely productive because we're going to get an cheese out of it. But I do want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you, those of you who are chatting in the chat, those of you who are lurking in the background. We love you all. Hey, YouTube, I see you. Welcome to the past. You are the future, and I hope it's better. I hope it's less worse. I hope it gets worse slower. Thank you, everyone, for watching Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry. Up next is going to be nothing because this is the end of our broadcast day, but tomorrow we'll be back with something that you can find over at loadingreadyrun.com/live? Yes, that's the schedule page. You can find it up there. Thanks to all of you who have given us your subs and bits. Those last of you are Echo the Tech Knight. Thank you for your 63 months of subscription. Super appreciate it. And super appreciate all of you who are contributing over at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Also, don't forget, if you haven't already, follow the channel because we're getting close to a big number and we want to make James happy. And I guess until next time, we'll see you in a fortnight, never in Fortnite. And until then,
Did you say that again?
I said, Siri, until next time, ever forward, learning out of spite. Good night.